eventually, yeah, when they need you.
Yeah, man. Shit, you already off to a great start. How long you been doing this? Like seriously, like I know you've
Um,
been practicing artist stuff like all growing up, but actually designing and taking it serious.
uh, well, I think like after the lockdown started with the coronavirus and all that, that's when I just got locked in,
Yeah.
because I had a lot of free time, so I didn't know what to do, and I just decided to start doing this, and then I just pursued this. So I think I've been doing this for it's gonna be 3 years, I think, in January or something like that.
Nice.
So yeah, so third year, I think. And it's been a crazy journey too.
Yeah, you just getting started, bro.
Yeah, the first year like that I started, I barely got any commissions as well. And like I've heard from a lot of people that they didn't get any commissions and they just like felt really frustrated. They didn't want
Hmm.
to do the work and they just gave up. But I really wanted to do this, so it was like a passion to me. So I just stuck with it, and I put out more and more and more work, and eventually I started getting commissions too. So yeah, to all the people out there that's like feel like giving up, they just gotta put out more work.
Yeah. You really gotta, it's not even about like being consistent for socials, I think, like just to post it or put it on your website. Like I think it's good for you. If that's something you really want to do, you'll want to do more and more of it and learn and get better and grow. So the more you do, the more you work, I feel like the more you'll fall in love with it. And it'll just become
Yeah,
easier after that. Like I started in high school, but it was really just a hobby until I got to school. I kind of, this was before COVID, I think. It was like
yeah,
really freshman year, my first year, I got into it really heavy. But yeah, I think everybody got into it heavy after COVID,
yeah.
like in
Because
our
like
community.
yeah, they had a lot of free time, like everybody
Yeah,
did. So yeah, they just locked in.
yeah. I think it made a lot of us better when it comes to our craft and what we do.
Yeah, and the thing is also like when you create stuff, sometimes people like sit within the borders, like they create for themselves, like they just go into Instagram pages and see like the cover art, for example, that's being made, and they think like this is the standard and they just have to fit in. But like that's not the case because as an artist, as you work, you gotta evolve. So you should not be afraid to like unlock some like new stuff, like do some experiments and do new
Yeah,
projects and yeah, touch the grounds that you're uncomfortable with because once you start doing stuff that you're uncomfortable with, it gets only better. So like for me, there was 3D. I was like always scared of opening up the 3D programs and I kind of avoided it. Like for years, I always wanted to do it. And I just like kind of forced myself to do it because I knew that if I wanted to get better, I had to like push myself to the limit somehow and try
yeah.
something new because if it wasn't me, somebody else was gonna do it.
I was the same way with 3D too. Like I don't think I got into it heavy at all, really, but I avoided it for years. Even illustration too, I did end up like learning how to do that, like working with Illustrator. But I stick with Photoshop. Like I stuck with it for so long. I never wanted to try anything else. But getting out of your comfort zone is what'll help you grow. Like even if it's doing something experimental, something you may not like in the end, or you may have to look it up on YouTube to figure out how to do it. I learned a lot of stuff that way too. But once you start doing those things and you learn them, you don't have to look it up or you don't have to try to like it becomes more natural. That's how you grow.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, it's real. So like ever since like you started, some people like are scared to do it,
Hmm.
like and they're scared to like post the stuff that they make because when you start out like it's natural that things come out kind of bad at first because like you have no experience and that's okay. Everybody
Yeah.
starts out bad at first and you get better along the way. So I always like advocate for sharing your stuff as well because people usually are afraid to post their stuff because they think it's bad and they kind of keep it in the vault. And it doesn't really matter because as long as you share it, somebody's gonna see it and somebody's gonna like it. And that was for me like the same thing for me as well, because once I posted the Kanye visualizer, I actually was really hesitant about it. Like the first one that I did, the concept. So I was really hesitant and like I was planning on not posting it. And then I just said like, yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. And that's how Bad Guts contacted me. And then I ended up getting like a Kanye placement. And
Yeah.
with the Homicide Gang as well, I did a couple of concepts. And when I posted it, then some people saw it. And then I just got into that collective because of that. And then I just got that placement. So one thing like I want to tell people is like always share your stuff because there's always going to be some critics. People are not going to like it, but there's always going to be people that will like it. So it's important to like just share your stuff and do more and just get better.
Absolutely. Also, try not to compare yourself to the big guys too much. I know I did a lot of that starting out, and I felt like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it ruined my confidence, but I would say it held me back in a sense because like I wanted to be so good, like as good as the people I looked up to, but I was just starting out, so I didn't really have that in my bag yet. So like find what works for you, find something you like and really get better at it and perfect it. And then eventually that'll be your thing. There'll be people that'll look to you and be like, man, I really wish I was as good as this guy. Little do you know,
Yeah,
or little do they know you've been looking up to other people for years. So
that's
just
so real,
do what works
bro.
for you, bro.
That's like really real. So I used to compare myself to like the big guys a lot, like a lot.
Hmm.
And I used to like sell their stuff. And at first I kind of got like even jealous as well. Like, how do they do it, bro? Like I can't do it. And that it ruined my confidence too, like a lot.
Yeah.
And I thought that I could never get to their level. And yeah, I used to always compare. And once you stop doing that and like actually you start like cherishing those things, like those people share some great stuff and like you're happy for them, then you start getting better. Like you just gotta make up your mind, like be yourself and share the stuff that you do and just not look at anybody else and compare it. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And also don't be scared to ask too. I used to get jealous too, but like I made some really good friends also by just reaching out and just saying like, "Hey, how did you do this?" or "How did you get so good with this element here?" Like you start a conversation. Some people will give you advice. Some people will help you. Like just that builds your network as well. Like those are people you can
Yeah.
count on. Like you may not have to talk to them every day or need to, but whenever you want to, whenever you want to have access to them, you can always reach out and they'll most likely respond to you.
Yeah, and like some people usually like hit me up as well and they ask me for stuff and like it's kind of crazy because like I used to do that as well, and I still do it sometimes. Like when there's some stuff that I can't figure out, I just DM some people that I think they know it, and I ask them politely, like if you can share this information with me. If not, that's cool. And like I always get happy when people like ask me stuff because when I started out, I didn't know anything, and I really wanted that information, and I wanted somebody to share it to me. So I had a couple of guys who like guided me in the right direction. Like at first, I also got scammed on my first commission ever. So because I didn't know like how that worked, like the deposits and all of that stuff. So there was a guy who like set me down and told me like everything step by step, do this, do that, ask them for a deposit and stuff like that. And it really helped me out as I was starting my career. So whenever people like ask me stuff and DM me, I'm really happy to share anything that I know. So yeah, it's great. You should always like no, feel free to ask people.
It's crazy going from being the person that's always asking to having people DMing you and ask you. It's a crazy feeling.
Yeah, but you know, like it's kind of a part of the work as well. Like as you evolve and do new stuff, you still gotta ask people something because, you know, like you're always learning like throughout your life. So it's okay to ask for advice like anytime at all. Like some of the big guys still do, and it's completely normal, I think.
It's just something you got to get comfortable with. Some people starting out, they may not just have it. Like I was scared sometimes. I would always ask still, but it's kind of intimidating because you think these people don't care about you at all, but they're human just like you. So don't be scared to like reach out to people. even if you want to work with somebody, it doesn't have to be advice. Like if you want to work on something with somebody, always ask. Never know where it might take you.
Yeah, I always reach out like to people too for work, like the managers and stuff,
Hmm.
because you know how I think about it is that like those people may not know about you. Like you DM them and they check your profile and they're like, "Oh, this guy does this stuff." So he might actually like work for me on this project and it's gonna turn out good because not everybody knows about you. So when you DM some people, you just basically like introduce yourself like, yeah, I'm me and I'm offering you this project and they can check it out and if they like it they can like hire you on the project. So I always do that. I still message people and like I DM them, the managers, I follow people, and actually I've gotten a couple of commissions from like following and DMing people and they were like, "Oh, I didn't know about you, so let's work."
And always ask for a deposit. Never
Yeah, for
start work
sure,
without a deposit.
man. Always. If that's how I got scammed on my first commission, yeah.
Yeah, people will waste your time. They'll ask for something and then just don't hit you up anymore. They ghost you.
Yeah, and especially like when you start talking about the project, like I've had this happen, like we talk about every detail, like we just like wrote down everything, bullet points and stuff, and then I
Yep.
just talked about the payment and they just vanished into like thin air, like no
Yeah.
response.
Yeah.
Happens a lot, man.
People be scared to do that too, but that's how you get your serious clients. You weed out a lot of the people that are just BSing you.
Yeah, yeah, you just gotta ask for it. Like it also shows like a sense of professionalism as well because you value
Facts.
your time. Yeah. So your time is always valuable. So even if like the project gets scrapped, I always tell my clients beforehand that I'm going to keep the deposit because I worked on that and I'm still going to provide you with like revisions and stuff until like it makes you happy. But if you still decide to not use it, like I'm going to keep the deposit because I worked on it, I spent my time and it's just how things go. If you don't want to do it like that, I'm sorry, but I can't work on the project. So I always let them know beforehand.
Yeah, definitely be upfront with everything. That's good for professionalism too. That'll help people
Yeah,
come back to you because they know you're serious and you're upfront about your business. You'll do them right, even if you give them something that you don't necessarily like, you'll still do your best to make sure that you fulfill your service. So that helps with people coming back to you in the future.
yeah, that's what matters the most. Like some people want to like notice that the commission is going in a wrong way. They just like give up on it. But I always like to put my maximum into it because even if they still don't use it, they might come back later.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Well, this is the part of the show where I usually ask if you have any advice for the people that's watching. But I think we just gave out a lot of free game.
Well, I think like the thing that you should pay attention to is that you should like have a work ethic. Like if you really want to do this stuff, you just gotta like work and work and work and always try to improve. And sometimes there's gonna be times like when you feel like you're not going forward with something and like you have a creative block or something like that. And it's okay to take some time off. Like maybe a week, this is what you need, but make sure to like always get back into the business and focus on the problems that like irritate you the most, you know? There's gonna be some things that like you can't do and you kind of avoid it and you just gotta focus on that and follow it like step by step. Start with like a smaller problem and just follow it through and you'll figure out things like that are troubling you along the way. And also, yeah, just like we said, make sure to put your work out there. Like, feel free to message people because we still do have like the perception that like the bigger guys are like some kind of non-human, like you said, but they're just like regular humans as well. So like you just gotta like DM people, like connect, network with people. So it's kind of fun that way. So you gotta take it seriously, but there's some like human aspects that you don't gotta take seriously. Just like feel free and be happy to do this stuff.
Yeah. Allow yourself the space and the freedom to create. Like let your mind wander. Soak up anything that you like, anything, any game, any advice that people giving out. You feel me? If you follow some people, you really like their art style. Don't copy, but just soak it up, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't copy. But definitely use what's around you and what inspires you to create. That's what it's all about. And take care of yourself first, because people can drive you crazy, but the art doesn't happen without you. The
Yeah,
videos, the anything you create, you can't make it without being, in a good state of mind and where you need to be mentally. Like you need to be in top shape to be able to like make your best product.
yeah, you gotta be composed. You gotta stay composed always.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's why like the mental health like matters. You gotta be in good shape to work because when you're stressed out, like it doesn't work out the way you want it to.
absolutely. Gotta stay grounded.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, Luca, thanks for coming through, man.